Moving into our second story of the day, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're joining us just for the second segment, I highly recommend you go check out the first segment regarding critical race theory being injected within the classroom and legislation being stopped from it happening. It's crazy, folks. This next story here is actually kind of fun. We have Elon Musk potentially starting a new startup company that would create a smartphone if Apple and Google removes Twitter from the app stores. Now, if you recall a while ago, this happened to Parler. Parler was a social media platform that was created to go against the progressive left's Twitter. And yes, the left was progressive left. They literally sat there and suppressed the speech of conservatives. They continually ban conservatives. And it's like every week comes out and we learn more about their suppression of conservatives from Elon Musk here, ousting and exposing what actually took place prior. And we were told for like a decade that this wasn't happening. Oh, it's crazy. What the hell are you talking about? That's not real. We literally heard this not from the progressive left themselves, but also the Democrat Party, politicians of the Democrat Party, and also people of Twitter just they're just lying to us that we're conspiracy theorists, and it turns out to be real. Well, it happened to Parler, where Parler wasn't meeting the terms of service by Apple or Google, and so they just said, hey, we'll remove you off our platforms altogether if you're not going to basically abide by our rules and our regulations of what we want to see from your app that you created. And in effect, basically made Parler obsolete and couldn't compete against Twitter. And now Parler, yeah, still around, but it's virtually non-existent compared to Twitter and these other apps. Well, Twitter CEO Elon Musk said Friday that he will start to create smartphones if Apple and Google remove Twitter from their app stores, a move that would be highly damaging to the social media company. I want to make it clear that I'm not a full-on Elon Musk fan. I think he's done some really good stuff, but he's also done some stuff that I don't like. So I can call it the things that are good, and I can call it the things that are bad. In the same way, there's things that Trump did that are good. There's things that Trump did that are bad. And I'm going to call it out. I don't think it's fair to just label myself as a conservative Republican and always just go, oh, well, conservatives are great. They do everything right. They're politicians. People mess up, including myself. We always have to be there to make sure that we're able to decide the nuances between what is good and what is bad. One thing I don't like of Elon Musk is he's promoting or has been promoting, well, free speech should thrive regardless of what you say. And then we come to find out he's working with groups behind the scenes for basically divisive and hateful speech to determine what somebody says is right or wrong. He won't bring back Alex Jones, who I'm not a huge fan of. I find his conspiracy theories interesting, but I don't sit there and go for him for the know-all, be-all of all information. But because of what Alex Jones did, of which he repented for and also apologized multiple times and was sued for and owes $1 billion now, he won't bring him back because of the things that he said about the Sandy Hook victims. So you're kind of seeing an aspect of Elon Musk that he's not really pro-free speech. There's a lot of things that people like and did that I don't like, but I still think they should have a platform to voice their opinions and concerns about society, about politics, or about whatever they feel free to speak on. Not Elon Musk, folks. So don't get this picture of Elon Musk that he sit there, oh, he's a right-winger because he's going to vote for Ron DeSantis, or oh, he's a conservative because he believes in free speech. Elon Musk has a side of him that is, I would like to say, maybe authoritarian or totalitarian in terms of suppressing somebody else's speech. He will do that, and he's going to do different forms of that on Twitter by giving people different labels of Twitter. He's going to suppress certain speech that is hateful. I don't like hate speech. I don't like racist slurs or racism or anything like that, but I also don't think people's speech should be suppressed. So there's this kind of this thing that Fox News is doing and certain outlets that are painting Elon Musk as almost a savior of free speech on Twitter and that he's not going to do anything bad. I'm calling it right here. I think this guy is going to sit there and I think he's going to suppress speech. And I think he's not going to bring back everybody on Twitter like Alex Jones. But we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Musk's remarks came in response to a tweet from political commentator Liz Wheeler, who wrote, if Apple and Google boot Twitter from their app stores, Elon Musk should produce his own smartphone. And you wouldn't just have to produce your own smartphone. You would actually have to produce your own app store as well. So it goes a step further. Half the country would happily ditch the bias-snooping iPhone and Android, she said. The man builds rockets to Mars. A silly little smartphone would be easy, right? Well, Musk saw this and he responded, I certainly hope it does not come to that, but yes, if there is no other choice, I will make an alternative phone. Now, just because I'm not for all of the things that Musk has said and done, I am a free market capitalist. I do love competition. That competition only removes more of the market from ultimately Apple and Google and other smartphones that are kind of around and brings it ultimately in a competition base, which would hopefully drive the cost down of iPhones, cost down of apps. And if you create more incentive to buy something else, then that should drive down the cost of that very something else of which you could have bought and now you're going to move into some other sector like Elon Musk's smartphone. So I'm all for like a Tesla phone. I'm all for Musk driving into the mix of things. I think it'd be good for our market. I think it would be good for just Americans in general and even the rest of the world. And who knows with the whole satellite link thing that he can utilize with his phones. I mean, he could sit there and create some serious big competition for Apple. The statement from Musk comes amid pressure from advertisers and left-wing activists to police content that they deem to be hate speech. As we talked about, folks, hate speech is literally anything and everything that you deem as subjective to be harmful or hurtful to you. And I use those words hurtful very literally because they believe, the progressive left believe, that you saying something that's hurtful, that hurt their feelings, is actively hurting them, not just psychologically, but physically causing them harm. That's how they view this. And if the progressive left had their way, they would make sure that you go to jail for hate speech. So anything that's purely subjective, you could just say literally anything that they find hurtful, and they would want you to be arrested for that. Call the cops, call 911, get the officers up to your house, and now they're going to sit there and throw you in jail if the left had their way. And that's why it's so important that we have that Second Amendment, because at some point, the left are going to make a strong move to sit there and suppress and remove our free speech. They've already been chiseling away at it for some time. In the same way they've been chiseling away at our Second Amendment rights, folks, it will happen. I mean, literally, you have Joe Biden want to ban assault weapons, whatever the hell that means. And you literally, I did a short on this. I highly recommend you guys go check out the shorts because we need your help in the comment section. You're getting all these progressive leftists going, I don't know why citizens need guns. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but I think it's important. It does circle back, I promise, like Jen Psaki. They're sitting there going, well, I don't know why citizens need guns. I don't know why you would need a firearm. I don't know why you need this or that. Geez, I don't know, maybe because the governments go usurpacious and America is literally an outlier in terms of democracies and republics that's ever existed in human existence, and that governments have a tendency to go tyrannical. God, you can only look at, I don't know, the last 100 years of history, or hell, look at all of human history to come to that sort of conclusion. But for some reason, like Joe Biden said, there's no logical reason to have a firearm. There's no logical reason to have a semi-automatic gun, which practically all guns are semi-automatic. The guy's an idiot. You need to go check out that short, folks. I need your help on this to get in the comments below and sit there and push patriotism, because you got a bunch of knuckleheads that don't know history because they'd rather be taught critical race theory from our first segment in the education system rather than teaching them real history of what you need to know. Musk responded to the pressure campaign this week by saying that the company has cracked down on hate speech. There you go. This is where we circle back. The suppression of free speech. This is why you need the Second Amendment, because there's going to be a time in American history where speech will slowly be chiseled away over 100 years, 200 years, to the point where you're not going to be able to have speech anymore. If you give up your guns, you give up your speech. You got Elon Musk here ultimately cracking down on hate speech, which I don't like. Again, I don't like hate speech, but if you don't like it, then don't freaking read it. Not every comment in my videos is nice. There's some people that write some really messed up stuff, but I'm not going to sit there and suppress their speech. They have a right to say it. I got a right to not read it or ignore it. Hate speech impressions are down by 1/3 from pre-spike levels, Musk tweeted. Congrats to Twitter team. I have half a mind to wag my finger at the 1,500 accounts that caused the spike, but I shall forbear. Reducing the max allowed tweet/day to a number below what a speed typist on meth could do was helpful. Musk then responded to a question from Daily Wire host Jordan Peterson about how he defines hate speech. This is simply based on the same list of terms that Twitter used for some time, so ceteris paribus. So hate speech impressions are lower, which he's quoting. So he's just basically using what Twitter was doing before, which is why I talked about before that he's literally just utilizing certain teams that were there before, whether those are third-party teams or in-house teams as well. Not everybody got fired. But again, there's a certain viewpoint of what's being projected out there of Musk, that he's just a free speech advocate, which again, I don't think he's fully for. I do think he firmly believes in free speech, but his actions aren't really showing that aspect of pushing out their free speech. I know I'm repeating myself. Musk made the decision in response to the final results of a poll he tweeted Wednesday. The platform will begin unbanning accounts en masse except for those who broke the law or engage in excessive spam next week, he tweeted in response to the results. And I think by breaking the law, he's talking in terms of kind of Alex Jones and other people, because Alex Jones, by ruling of court, did in fact break the law, which is why he has to pay upwards of $1 billion. And I'm just using Alex Jones as an example because that's the one that's most current and one that's easiest to pull out of my mind. But I want to know what you think about all this. Do you guys think Musk is a full-on free speech advocate? Because when I think of free speech, I think of, you could say pretty much whatever the hell you want. And that's your right. Whether you're progressive, left, right, communist, socialist, whatever, I think you have a right to say it. And then we all have a right to come in here and give good advice, good values, good information that will sit there and combat that very bad advice, that very bad viewpoint, that very bad information. Do you think Musk is a free, basically a free speechist, if that's even a word? Do you agree with what he's doing here on Twitter? Do you think Alex Jones should be back on Twitter? A lot to talk about in the comment section below, folks. And please check out that short regarding Joe Biden wanting to remove semi-automatic weapons, and get in the comment section below. We need your help pushing conservative thought and ideas out there to all people, even the progressive left. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.